Yeah, we're on.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Since the judge is late, we'll go ahead and go down to the approval of July meeting minutes. I'm sorry if you can't understand that.
Use the microphone a little.
You need me to say your voice for you?
I'll try as long as I can.
Okay. Did you guys have a chance to read through the minutes?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Anything
Any additions or
we got wrong?
Didn't look like, looks like perfect.
do you have a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
We have to come back to the minutes for the bank after
After we elect off, after the officers get sworn
after
in.
Madeline is and Cheryl are, well, Madeline is sworn in and Cheryl is re-sworn in. And
I guess you're official until the new one. And then you have to be official again.
yes, and then we'll come back to that. Treasurer's report, that's me today. Pass these out. We got a full house. While I'm passing, I'll introduce, if you guys haven't met, our newest board member, Madeline Flannery, has taken Lena's seat on the board. And we're very happy to have her here. No, those are both yours.
Oh. Honored to be asked, glad to serve.
Good, thank you. What I'm handing out are the two financial reports. There's one for the general fund and one for the state fund.
The little one.
The
Little one is
say.
the state, and we only look at the front page while we're here. So start with the general fund. Cash in bank, that's the main checking account where we pay everything from, currently has $723,337.92. Yeah, you know.
Right there.
Okay, so the next line is the business preferred money market, and it currently has $505,342.80. The CD, oh, here we go. We'll come back to this. Hi, come on in.
Hello, hello.
Hello. You're fine.
About 30 seconds.
Yeah, here.
We'll excuse you this time. He was always on time at school.
Well,
We'll call him.
Because of his mom.
two people being sworn in today. I have, you need two copies of those, right? One for you guys, for you to take and one for us to keep. Okay. So Cheryl is being re-sworn in and Madeline is being sworn in for the first time. I'll give you these.
Okay.
And yeah. Do you want to do this in here or
Just do it here, right over here.
that way we've got you on camera?
Do you want to do one at a side or one at a time? Do we need to do one at a time?
I think it can be both. Haven't you done like a double?
Okay, okay, good.
Okay, I'm gonna sit out
So
of the
we-
way.
this microphone forward, don't-
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and be faithful and true
and be faithful and true
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
so long as I continue
so long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully execute
and that I will faithfully execute
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
the office of trustee
the office of trustee
of Letcher County Public Library
of Letcher County Public Library
District according to law.
District according to law.
And I do further solemnly swear
And I do further solemnly swear,
that since the adoption of the present Constitution,
since the
Adoption of
adoption of the present
current
Constitution,
I being a citizen of this state,
I, being a citizen of this state,
have not fought a duel
have not fought a duel
with deadly weapons
with deadly weapons
within this state,
within this state, nor out of this state,
nor have I sent
nor have I sent
or accepted a challenge
or accepted a challenge
to fight a duel
to fight a duel
with deadly weapons,
with deadly weapons,
nor have I acted as a second
nor have I acted as a second
in carrying a challenge,
in carrying a challenge,
nor aided or assisted
nor aided or assisted
any person thus offended.
any person thus offended.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You're sworn in.
Yay.
Well,
Signatures.
gosh,
Okay.
I'm so
I
glad I
know.
didn't accept that challenge for the duel. Just missed it.
Okay, I need
Weren't
signatures,
expecting that.
please.
Right, no, I forgot that I knew that it was in the Constitution.
I've
But-
got the tax rate.
So,
agenda
oh,
for today,
we're just the
so
top
I'll bring
one.
them over to Stacy as soon as I get them.
So do we sign 4 of them?
You signed 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
you
That's
are.
right. One of each, yes.
Yeah, and
Right.
Terry
got it,
signed 4.
Got it. Thank you.
Things coming together for you, Judge?
dual part out of
It
the
is.
Constitution
county?
3 years ago. That's right, right, yeah.
And a lot.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
They should say, or in another state, or on any other medium, or on the internet, or, because a lot of people have probably bought duels on the internet.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Where was I?
Back to the budget.
Business preferred money market is $505,342.80. The CD at community trust is $103,887.19. Petty cash is $1,384.42. And the state fund is $39,155.88 for a grand total of $1,373,000. Oh, that's wrong. $1,373,108.21.
So this total is,
That
That's
total
adding
is-
them all together.
Yes.
okay.
On this one where it says taxes receivable, it's
Mhm.
taxes that they are expecting us to get.
Oh,
So
okay, so
it
they
doesn't-
haven't been.
So you
received
really
yet.
don't add that in.
I really don't.
Right. That's what's anticipated.
Yes. So, that total was $1,373,108.21. And somebody make a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion to accept it.
We can
Second,
make motions.
second.
Sure.
No, there's 4 of you now.
Oh, yeah, you get
Okay.
sworn in, so.
Oh, okay,
Now you
so-
can do everything. You're held accountable now.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Okay, vouchers.
Director's financial report.
Okay.
Okay. Think, I may not have passed them in.
You didn't pass them out. Did you have them in the? They are. Unless they're attached to one of these.
Yeah.
They're here. So the first page is, I did give you an example of one of these. The first
Oh,
page
okay.
is, at the top, it's deposits that I've made, and then, the bottom is purchases that I have made.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second page is a detail of Amazon purchases. So we've had a bunch of deposits this month. We had clerk delinquent tax, apparently. I didn't get the message about the clerk's office having checks at some point. So when I went, they gave me 2 months worth.
Hmm.
Okay, so there was delinquent tax in the amount of $6,750.82. Ad valorem, which is, what is that? Does anybody remember? I know I've looked it up in the past. It's,
I asked that question, but I forgot the answer.
It's Latin, I know that much, but I don't know
Yeah.
what it means.
I know Puel means really.
Oh, is
Do
that
you
right?
remember? Sam, what
Ad
ad valorem
valorem.
is in Texas?
It's ad valorem taxes, that's the added value.
Added value, Sam?
Yeah, so if you have, like, it's for 100, stamps for $100
That's all of our
of
taxes.
value.
Tax based on the assessed value of an item, real estate or personal property. So, it's
It's the value of the properties, you think?
The-
Okay,
the-
okay. Mhm.
when you get your property tax bill, it's like, and we're gonna talk about this later, 17 cents per $100 for real estate, I think.
Okay.
So that was $7,179.65. Delinquent tax was $6,813.79. The second ad valorem was $7,798.24. And then we got property tax from the sheriff for oil, gas, limestone, clay, sand, gravel, $1,516.95. And then we had Department of Treasury omitted tangible was $1,177.06. We had a donation from Mountaineer Investigation and Security. They've been using one of our small, I didn't turn our picture. Or I turned it on and then.
Where is the camera?
Right there.
Okay.
So we've been letting them use one of our smaller meeting rooms, and I told them that since it was one of the smaller rooms, we weren't gonna charge them, but if they wanted to make a donation, we would totally accept it. And they've given us a couple of donations since they've used the room a few times.
Can I ask about, I'm confused about the oil, gas, limestone, clay, sand and gravel. What's that
It's-
about?
It's
Do we
another property tax.
It's the, it
Tax
sounds
rate.
like the minerals tax, but I didn't know that
It's,
the library would pay a mineral. Do you? do
we
own?
receive.
We receive.
Oh, you get that. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's, I didn't realize they broke it down. So that's the unmined minerals.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you for
Um,
that clarification. Okay,
all this top stuff is deposit.
right, sure. I knew that.
Okay.
I just spaced that.
And then, I made a couple of donation deposits into the state fund. We had one for $620. It was actually a couple of different checks. And then, we had $1,333.19. That was the yearly donation from one of our patrons and the last of the GoFundMe funds for the flood.
Hmm.
And then we took in $211 for copies, faxes, and printouts. And also copies, printouts, and faxes was $36.93 through Square for a total of $33,547.63. And then we had some purchases and payments. Last month's board meeting lunch from Payne Kitchen was $84.80. And then Kim Michelle asked us to send a box of kids' books from our donations that we weren't gonna keep to the courthouse in Louisville for their little free library. And actually the $20 on the first state fund donations was them sending us postage back. And she sent a very nice letter also, the judge did. So that was $14.42 for mailing the box of books. And then we had programming purchase at Dollar Tree for $161. And that was mostly prizes for the summer reading finale. And then Food City for the summer reading finale food was $141.98. It was pizzas and snacks, is that right?
Yeah.
And then I paid the registration for the library to be a special purpose government entity to the DLG, which is Department for Local Government. That was $500. I mailed 3 packets this month because I handed 2 out in person. That was $6.21. And then we had a couple of Walmart purchases, $70.26 and $43.72. And I believe those were both programming. Mhm. Snacks and water for the yoga classes. And then White House Construction cleaned and repaired gutters at Jenkins, and that was $500. And then the Amazon purchases totaled $803.35. I'm not gonna go through each purchase, but down at the bottom, by category, we had $495.56 in books, $209.97 in programming, $31 in office supplies, $66.82 in DVDs for a total of $803.35. Questions about any of that? Okay.
I move that we accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
All those favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion
I can get your initials on that and that. Thank you very much. Vouchers. Okay, this is just purchases from the different head librarians and myself. In invoice form, you just look over it if you have, and the cover sheets were in the packet I gave you.
Oh, okay,
But if you
and
have
that's-
any questions about any of them,
right.
The nation.
Oh, okay, so it's starting here.
just, you get different packets of invoices, and that's, I mean, you can look at those to see if you have any questions,
Mhm.
and it actually starts on the page
Before.
before with mine.
Okay, but it has to be initialed on this is what you're
Yes.
saying, okay.
I did have one addition to my packet of invoices, and that was TK Elevator. They're doing the repair modernization. They have asked for updated payment, which was 37,000, I believe. It's in there somewhere.
Is the insurance covering all that?
No, insurance does not cover any of that.
Really?
But FEMA is supposed to cover 75% of it.
Okay,
And local government's supposed to cover 12 or 13, and then we cover the rest.
okay, so that's not too bad. Why doesn't insurance cover it? Because you didn't have flood insurance, right?
Right.
Yeah, nobody had flood insurance, I guess.
Well, they did it neon.
Yeah.
Oh.
They didn't
Black.
have to.
Oh, they did?
No.
You didn't at Blackie? Oh,
No,
I thought you. I thought
it
you
was
did.
not.
But
at that
Neon
time
did.
floodplain.
So what's Appalachian Linen Service? I know I'm asking all
They
this.
do,
but-
Go ahead.
no,
Yeah,
if you don't know, if you don't
Yeah.
ask, you need to know. They do the rugs at the front
Oh.
and the inside rugs at the front and the back door and, at our circulation desk. It's just a.
linen, that seems like an odd name for the company. Do they
Yeah.
do linens also?
Yeah, they do tablecloths.
I think
Oh,
they
they do? Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
They
Okay.
do dust, not dust rags, but like cleaning rags also.
Okay, that's interesting. And they're out of, they're out of
He's
where?
local.
Oh,
I
he's
think,
local.
I think he's here in Letcher
Is
County.
it Dean? It
Um,
used to be Dean Fields, used to do all
Oh,
that.
that name sounds.
But he does, Nina and Dean Fields,
I
Mm.
think,
he used to run the truck, but he doesn't anymore, but I thought his son had taken over.
yeah, I think it's his son,
son.
he and his son and his wife, but I can't remember his name.
Kevin.
He's nice.
He's Fields.
He's the talker.
Well, he's a Fields. He has to be nice.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? So where, do I just initial this on the top?
Just on the front page, anywhere.
I'm just confident that I will have no problem.
Yeah.
Approving it. So we'll see.
Just say, on here it says, $84,465.
Did I put 84? Wait. Oh, that's the total amount. The amount to pay this,
But you just paid part of it.
we did a deposit of half of it, so 42 and change. And then they're asking for the current balance, and then once they come back and do the final inspection and the elevator guy, Rodney, comes back to do the elevator inspection, that's when they'll ask for the final kick amount.
Hoopla.
Yes.
What's Hoopla?
It is a database that is downloadable in audiobooks and
Oh,
comic
cool.
books and
Very cool.
movies and TV shows. It's awesome.
Mm.
And it's getting more and more popular, so.
I'm working on getting Robert Kingsolver's book, Demon Copperhead, put on all the tablets of the Letcher County Jail, the audio version,
Oh.
so they can discuss it as they go through it
Uh-huh.
with and so.
Hoopla
would
has
the-
it. I haven't
okay.
checked- Yeah,
So
I
I
have
need
it
to-
checked out right now.
Well, Bert said that, anyway, so I'll have to follow up because they're about to negotiate a new phone contract with the
Oh.
jail, for the jail, and so that they want to include the one purchase. Oh, wow, okay.
They usually bring it in. They
I'll
need
read
to-
that.
It's
Oh,
platform.
isn't it? It's hard though
But
to
it's so
read.
true
It is
to life.
so true, and you know, I kept thinking when I read it, how every
Yeah.
inmate, almost every inmate in there could
Has
relate
went
to
to
that,
their-
has gone through that same thing. Wasn't the beginning, the first
Okay.
chapter about his birth?
I'm gonna.
I could not get that out of
Yeah.
my head about his way out of the amniotic sac. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, powerful. And she was willing to donate books, or paperback books to the entire, but most of them aren't readers. So I listened to it as an audio
That's
book
how
while
I
I was
mean-
working in the
That's how
garden.
I read
Yeah,
it.
and great reader. The fellow they had read it, I thought did an excellent job. But anyway. So Hoopla, I may
Yes,
look at that as a means of doing this.
they need library cards in order to use Hoopla, but
Well,
we can hook them up.
well, see, the thing that he said is that if their new phone contract, if one person purchased it through Audible, but maybe Hoopla, then it could be on every tablet in the jail.
I think
But library cards, can inmates have library cards?
anybody can have.
Really? So that's interesting.
I
that they can
think-
do that.
You can only do
They
one
just can't
download
come
of
to
it.
the library.
Right, exactly. But, and I don't think they can check out, can they check, they couldn't request books, could they?
No, but, because if we put a hold on a book for somebody, it doesn't, it's whatever copy comes first.
Right, and it could be
they
hardback
can't-
and they can't be hardback, yeah.
But we can hook them up with library cards.
Okay,
But I think with Hoopla, because I know with Overdrive, which is now Libby, you get downloaded to one device.
Right, see, that's the problem, is if they, I don't know how that would work, but anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine. Questions are good. Anybody else have questions?
Your insurance is through Philadelphia.
That is, D&O insurance. It's like director and officers,
Oh, okay.
which is me
Didn't know
and
that
the
was-
board. So if somebody were to sue the library,
That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, we should hope that that would never
I hope that would never happen.
happen. And the TLC,
TLC is the library corporation. They do our online catalog. Any
Okay.
content that is in the catalog, the pictures of the book covers, description. Yeah, this is just a part of it. It's, the descriptions of the books is what the extended content is. Thank you.
Grace Rag.
That's Grace. They're gonna-
Oh, okay, I knew you, but I
Yeah.
couldn't place you, and so there we go.
I think we're gonna do this really fast and then we'll do the head librarian reports or the full-time staff reports.
No, when you say we're gonna do this really fast?
This is minutes for the swearing in and, I'm gonna ask H to make a motion or somebody to make a motion. So is that all the vouchers? Oh,
This is
almost.
the last one.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this out.
Oh, I was wondering, I was looking.
Here we need a motion to,
Are they all, nope, Cheryl still got it. Okay, now we need a motion to accept the vouchers.
I'll make a motion to accept the vouchers.
And I was
Second.
seconded. Oh, well.
Okay, so this is basically pre-written minutes to document the swearing in of library board members and to make everybody signers on the account, except for Jeanette. I think we can give her a pass for a little while. So if you can make this motion and then just read off the, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion, swearing in of Cheryl Hawkins and Madeline Flannery by the county judge, Xavier Terry Adams.
Next part down.
But it has blank made the motion.
Just, I would like to make a motion and then read.
I'd like to make a motion that of all Letcher County Library Board member trustees, including Howard Stanfield, Jeanette Ladd, Libby Honeycutt, Cheryl Hawkins, and Madeline Flannery, be the signers of library accounts held at the Community Trust Bank and Whitaker Bank, and that the library director have the equivalent of inquiry access, including the accounts ending in C 1298 CD 4301, expiring checking, number 72, state deposit box, and 2378, public
Premium.
premium.
What is that?
What is
It's
that?
just a checking, it's the state fund account.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's a checking account. Okay,
You made the motion?
You made the
H. Oh,
You made
H
the
made the
motion.
motion, so you get a second.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
second. So we have to go over and sign the library cards, I mean, the bank cards today?
yes, right, we can
Oh,
do that
okay.
after we adjourn, but,
Oh, and you need to sign it?
Yeah.
Right there, down there, I guess.
Did-
So why do we have in both banks? Just that's always been the case. politics, local politics.
kind of all of the above.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, and we'll take this over to the bank with us when, and I'll be going to. Okay,
Yeah,
so now we are,
here's the library.
yes. Want to start over there, Peggy?
Well, we just continue with our regular activities, because our summer reading was ended. We had a very successful summer reading. We had our gathering with, planned and repaired, and they did a really nice job. And he mentioned, of course, we already knew that, but that our side needs some work, especially right there at the door where we have that problem with I think the guttering is not quite the right size, and it gets water all the time there in that corner.
He's supposed to give me a estimate, but I haven't gotten that yet.
Okay, do I need to call him? Okay, I'll call him about that. Other than that, there's nothing special that I can think about other than just the repairs to the building. And I think Brenda mentioned it to Alita about the ceiling in the meeting room, so we're gonna check on that.
East Kentucky's Best Cleaning Service is supposed to come in and look at it and give me an estimate.
They haven't come yet, but I'm sure they will.
Is that everything?
That's everything.
Okay, Grace?
Okay, our Letcher oral history group. That was when I was off with my sister, but they had someone come from KET to do interviews with some of them that met there at the library one day. And I don't know how, but everybody seemed to have missed when it was off on the news segment on KET. And so someone had posted the segment and I was at work, and later I got back on to try to find it again and never could find it. So I've got to get with them so I can at least see. But there's a few people that did see it, so they did a good job. I think mainly Joyce Hampton and Richard Smith did the top of it. They came there and met with them during the day. And with Letcher oral history, one of my greatest heartbreaks when we started tossing books was a lot of our oral history we had collected was gone. And there were several of us that day just trying to get everything that could up out of the moisture as fast as we could. And I knew that I had thrown away a lot of real important things that there's nowhere to get them back. And we had collected obituaries from way back. And someone said at the beginning, well, this is crazy, but people come in, they can get a lot of information from an obituary. So we had them in notebooks. And so I just assumed that whoever had gotten to that shelf above me before me had probably thrown those away. And we have just had books stacked, and we had no shelves to put them on. So they've just been stacked and we've been walking around them. So when they they did paint the big room upstairs from the fire. It's been painted. It's nice and bright. They cleaned, Brian went to the dollar store just above us and brought back things for them to clean the light fixtures that hang down. And we no longer look like we're
Did
ready
an
for,
excellent job.
yeah, that we no longer look like we're ready for Halloween, because way up in the highest corners of that upstairs room, we had black cobwebs from the smoke. So we got that done, but we did find the obituary books. You would have thought I had gotten a great Christmas surprise when I opened a tote. We worked while they were painting. We tried to go down and sort through some of our boxes and stuff, but so now we've got all the boxes from upstairs. The gentleman moved them downstairs so they could paint. And now they're all sitting in the floor downstairs, but we really have nowhere to put the books. So that's work yet to come. But the paint job it lightens that upstairs up. And on that, I don't know if there's anybody that knows our outside windows upstairs. They don't. The ones that are there, as you see as you come across the bridge. The only time they have ever been washed since I've worked there is when the outside of the building's been painted. Because nobody can reach them. And there's really no real good way to get down there, so. And when they paint, they clean them, so they had done a good job with the paint outside the building. We have lots of pigeons around. That's all that's all I need to say.
The company that does the windows here is Latin Enterprises. They did these back windows like the kitchen window here that's 3 stories up, so I'm sure they'd be able to.
Well,
They have a pumper truck that they pull around that.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and see,
so-
we've got that crumbling riverbank, so,
Yeah.
I don't know, so we may just have to bear with it till the storm washes it away. We've sort of learned to live with it. We have had, since last meeting, I've been visited by FEMA twice. Last Friday, a gentleman came that was contracted by FEMA, and he came and did lots of measurements of the ramp. That's about all I know. He said he usually worked on the roads. Well, I got this information from talking to his wife while he was working. It was former Corps engineer, but he contracts with FEMA, and said that they had asked him to come check that. He was in here, had been in here about 6 months, and looking at roads and that kind of stuff, but they'd asked him to come check the ramp before he left. So he was there, of course, they don't tell you anything but about, hope you get some money to see you, bye. So, and then just this past week, we had 4 folks from FEMA that came, but they were traveling around. They came from Harlan County. They were making get some real traveling in. They came from Harlan County, and they were leaving Blackhead going to Buckhorn. So,
Oh,
one of them was from Texas, and they were from several different places, but they were just sort of checking areas to see where there had been gaps in FEMA showing up, or gaps in, sort of getting
okay.
our idea about what was going on. But everybody that comes in that door gives me for a little while, I feel a little bit more hope. And see this gentleman sitting here, I feel a whole lot more.
Good.
We're gonna,
That's, of course, we still have a book club, and we picked up a few new members, and still having oral history, and that's about all we can do with what space we've got right now.
Chris Bischoff, who used to be the construction representative at Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives, actually met us
Yeah.
there a couple of weeks ago. He was coming to the Hyman Settlement School for something. And so he had been in the Blackie Branch before and kind of just wanted to see where we were at. So we looked around there, and I told him what the plans were, and that was a nice visit.
I missed that too. That was the week I was off.
Yeah, Laura was there with us. Okay, let's skip to Tessa so she can go cover for Ladina.
Okay, I've never done this before, so I don't have any notes, but July for me was summer reading. Sometimes I had 5 programs a week. It was a lot, but it was really, really good. We had great turnout, like maybe a little bit less because we have lost a lot of the people that live directly in this area. A lot of my kids have had to move, which is sad, but still very important what we do with the summer reading, because the summer slump is very real, and your local library and the summer helps to combat that. If your kids are not engaged, research from the ALA and a bunch of different organizations shows they can lose up to 2 months of their education if their brains are not engaged during the summer. So summer reading programs that we do are very important. Ours was great. Our kickoff, or our finale rather, was really good. We had our toddler finale, and our children's finale. We went back in time and did a 1950s sock hop with a ice cream social, and they got to come and spend their points that they'd accumulated by reading books through the summer and attending programs. They got to spend all their points. They got free books, and they got some cool little prizes. We had a ball. I mean, it was amazing. And now I've got kids that came for summer that are being a lot more engaged in the library now, I think that's how you get in with families to make them lifelong library users, is through their children. So if you get their children in, you can, yeah, if you get their children in, then you can usually get the adults in too. And so I've noticed, like, I even had a family that the kids came from Mississippi. They were staying with their aunt and uncle. Well, now aunt and uncle are coming to everything, even though kids are going, you know, so it's really good. The teen finale was a ball. We had a half night walk-in, which was interesting for me. With me being locked in the building with a bunch of teenagers all night. But we had the best time. And my nieces got to come in from Tennessee. They made great new friends. Like and I had kids during that event that have been in their shell the whole summer that really stepped out, and it was nice to watch that development of their character. And you know, socialization is very important for these kids, whether they're in school, whether they're not in school, whether they're homeschooled, they're old, they're young. It's important for them to forge those new relationships. So that was the end of summer reading. Of course, we had painting class also, and painting class is crazy because it's like competitive to sign up even. I mean, I usually set 50 seats at 1 and 50 seats at 6 o'clock. We always fill them, the spots. That doesn't mean that everybody shows up, but we still, I mean, average probably 75, 80 people a month for painting class, which is crazy. And then I go to Jenkins, and so that's not counting that. So we have painting class there. And I'm trying to think, so one of the cool things that happened with us is you've probably seen the painting that Jeff Chapman Crane did. So that's finished and framed and is going to be sold with the money going to flood relief. And I think that it's coming, from my understanding, that's going to be donated to the library system. And then the money from prints will also be. So I got to go over and see it and pose with it. And I also got to meet with Damon Winters from the New York Times. I'm going to be in an article in probably at the end of next month in the Times. And then so he came to photograph me. He was a great guy. But I took him up to Neon. Lita gave me the key. We went up, and you met him too, didn't you? Yeah, such a nice guy.
Are you talking about John?
Damon Winters.
Oh. He's not the one.
No,
Yeah.
Damon Winters is a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer. He lives in Florida, but works for the New York Times.
No pressure, right? No pressure.
None,
Yeah.
none.
Me standing barefoot in the river taking pictures, no pressure. Yeah. He was awesome. And, you know, we went into the library. There's some cool pictures that he took of me with the water line. But that happened in my little realm and was kind of cool. I mean, now we're looking forward to story time starts on Thursday. So I'll have my preschoolers back. We have kids create nights for my elementary kids. We've got teen nights going on. We're getting ready to host Podcasting 101. That'll be next month. And then Ian got an email telling them about.
Yeah, I got a phone call this morning from somebody that's wanting to have an educational program for American chestnut restoration.
Yeah.
And
We're definitely going to get that on the calendar.
Mhm.
We're looking at different things like doing a musical instrument petting zoo and getting Cowan Creek to come out and let kids play around and adults, you know, and pick and see, you know, because with me, I play a variety of instruments, but you never know until you pick it up and you try. So I think that's really neat, you know, get the community involved.
We did an instrument petting zoo with Cowan Creek Mountain Music School before, and some of their teachers actually performed for us.
Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. I want to do that again so bad. It was really neat. So anything that we can do to take community library and merge them, that's a lot of my goal. So I'm on city council now. So I'm hoping that, you know, we can forge some new things with that too. What else do I have going on?
Tell me about your incident.
Oh yeah, okay. So now summer reading is over. It's cleanup time, and it gets a little hectic for summer reading, and it's hard trying to do the programs and then to clean up from the programs and planning the programs, and then if you've got 5 a week, then there's no real downtime. But now I'm cleaning stuff out, and I was pulling a bag of trash to the other side of the office because I can't lift. My back is not well, so I was just kind of tugging it to the other side of the office so Greg could get it for me. There was a piece of, I'm assuming it was glass in it, but when I pulled, it slid by my leg, and I ended up in the ER with 3 stitches. And they're out now, and everything's fine. I mean, there's no infection or anything like that. But we wrote incident reports up. He came down and helped me out because I was covered in blood, as you can imagine. But
Workman's comp claim.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't really want to go, but they convinced me to,
You've got
and
to,
I had to. Yeah. So
There was a lot of messenger go to.
Right, right.
they know that I'm a little stubborn, but I went, and it was okay. But I'm just looking forward to summer is hectic, so when you can get back into the swing of regular programming and plan, educational stuff, fun stuff, it's good. And I still have a lot of books that were donated to me by a teacher in another county, and a lot of it is school resource. So anybody that wants to come and look at the homeschooling or anything, tell them to come away, and I'll help them out as best I can. I think that's all that I have going on.
A lot.
Okay.
It's a lot.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any numbers on like the summer reading?
The summer, okay, so I have to do a big survey at the end where I have to write up a bunch of reports.
Okay, so that will come to us.
Yes, I will get that to you.
Okay.
I sure will, and I'll do the numbers for, it'll be the numbers for all of us collectively, the whole system.
So you don't have for each one.
I can, if you want me to, I can break it down.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Sure.
That way we can tell what we need to do.
Sure,
Yeah.
Where we need to.
Yeah.
I will write it down on my notes and I'll get it for you.
Another one, how do you, do the programming, how do you inform the public?
Okay, so we do, now I get on Canva and I make advertisements myself. And I take those advertisements, I put them out on Facebook. Now we put it in the paper, and then I call the radio station. So that's my big 3
Right.
that I try to do.
Yeah.
That's very good. And word of mouth, honestly, is our biggest help. But I'm in the process right now of trying to work with a couple different school systems. It's hard to get in right now. It's really hard to get in. And it's harder now than it has been in the past to get into the school system to do things. At least for me, it has been. But I want to get in and sort of canvas, like old school canvas. That's what I would really like to do, especially with my teenagers. And I will brag on that because when I started this job, Legina and Vicky, when Ian was young, they had a great team program. And then, after a few years, it dropped, and I've had none. But I have just tried and kept pushing. And this year, it was amazing. I
How
mean, I
many
think
would
that
you
I
say?
had
Yeah.
at our finale, there were like 25 kids here.
Wow.
And that too last year, and it was 25. I mean, it was so
That's
cool.
great.
It was so cool. I felt really old, listening to them talk about everything they're into and whatnot, but it was really good. And then one more thing I forgot to tell you that's exciting. I got contacted by the Kloiber Foundation, and they do, they're a foundation that likes to work with nonprofits with technology in mind. They specifically want to work with me to get us a programming grant that would be used for purchasing like technology. Like we're wanting to do a makerspace, so like computers and like a Glowforge and a Cricut and sewing machines, and that way it can be used by the public.
Hazard fire systems will do exhaust hoods.
Yes, and so they're working with me right now about getting a program grant. I don't know how much that's going to be. It's sort of in the early steps, but we have been in contact with each other, and we're going to get that.
And what's the foundation again?
Kloiber, it's Kloiber. Never had heard of them before, but actually it was a teacher friend of mine that was in a meeting with them, and she started telling them about the public library and what we do. One thing led to another, and here we are.
Yeah, once you get a grant, it's a lot easier to increase
And
Yes,
I had one question, and I feel terrible about my ignorance, but who teaches the painting class?
me and Regina,
Oh, okay,
Yes,
good.
Regina and I.
Okay,
thankfully.
okay. So do you do, like, you have one picture that everyone does?
Mhm.
Usually,
Yeah,
okay.
it's guided,
Okay.
it's completely guided.
Okay.
We used to charge
Mhm.
for it, but we don't feel like we need to do that. So it's totally free. I mean, material can get a little costly, but
And you provide the
It's okay.
paint and the canvas.
we
and
provide
all that,
everything.
yeah.
You just show up, it's all ages. The only
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
the
I
only
can
thing that's
see,
a little
yeah.
aggravating is when people sign up and then they
And
don't
show
come, so I
up. Yeah,
can't, yeah,
right.
it makes me feel bad because then I have to have empty seats when people on the waiting list would have come, but you
Right,
can't control
right.
it, you know,
Yeah.
so. But
Okay,
our
very
painting
cool.
classes are, it's crazy how
They're
popular
really
they are.
great. Good, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will get
Really, really nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
very
yeah. Well, you know, when you have good English teachers when you're young, you know.
Were you her teacher?
Yeah.
Awesome student.
Roy's next.
Mhm.
Sorry, buddy. Let me grab my paper
Well, I
here.
helped with some reading.
You did, yeah, you did, yes, yes. That's my right hand right there. And
Mhm.
Legina and Sam's daughter, Mackenzie,
Yeah.
is the best volunteer that I have ever had. And
Mm.
she deserves major recognition, because I literally could not have done my programs without her. She gave up her whole summer to come here. So I'm gonna give her a little, I think I'm gonna get her a little gift to thank her.
Is
for
she
that.
a senior this year, Sam?
Junior.
Junior, okay.
She's a wonderful kid,
Mhm.
wonderful kid.
She does feel like her. She's funny too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tessa.
And me and Legina and Kenzie went up to Jenkins for the the summer program for the Catholic Church.
The annual puppet show.
The puppet.
Oh.
Singing songs and everything, the nuns, I think he did good.
Oh, do they really?
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
love it. They like it better than the kids.
Oh, that's interesting.
Get kids up there working, it's, they don't know what they're doing, oh, look at this.
They took bribes, I mean gifts, books and bookmarks and the color change pencils.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was a puppet show that they wrote.
Oh, well,
They
no,
were-
we just done songs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Usually they
There was
write.
A whole bunch of them this time. We've done over at the auditorium with the Smile Faith Clinic kids.
Mm,
That big
mhm.
building, that's where we done that. They were all spread out.
That's nice.
It's been hard to build just a little puppet show. So I was down in the audience and stuff with the puppets,
Okay.
dancing on the priests. They liked it too.
Mhm.
See. Well, I done, one of my old patrons, she contacted me. I hadn't had contact with her in like 3 years. Ever since COVID started, lost contact with her.
Wow.
Yeah, I started seeing her again. Some of them still have contact with us. I know some of them passed during COVID. After the flood, some of them are just gone.
Yeah,
The houses are gone, empty,
Yeah.
they just left.
it's a rebuilding.
Yeah. It takes a while.
Have you thought about, having a specified day, maybe go to Food City or, Walmart parking lot?
I've done that before, yeah.
But, I mean, so we can print paper.
Have a schedule for it.
Yeah.
I've done stuff like that, puppets and stuff, and talking with everybody that comes from the parking lot. But I can't do it down at Saving Lot. They won't allow it anymore,
Really?
because someone complained that I don't know, you know, like where I was parked at or
We
something.
can move down a little bit to Dollar Tree.
No, they
Yeah,
all,
that was
they all.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, the
That
whole,
whole parking, Saving Lot owns all of it.
You can go to the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. And I know Long John Silver's want me to do something there in their parking lot. But
that's a small part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the businesses would
But
love
it's not
that.
about-
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Got to buy the Dollar Tree and stuff.
Right.
Just they want me dressed as cat in a hat and it's hot.
Tell them to wait until October.
Don't do it this week.
Cools off.
Yeah, right. But I like the idea of having a regular schedule, because how do you know where to go? How do
There's a
you?
schedule.
There is a
Places
schedule,
I
yeah.
know.
He has a schedule, but I can't, like, so I just go and ask him and then I put it on Facebook.
Okay, but I mean, I like the idea of having something of, you know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
how many
I've done
people
stuff
you
like
get.
that.
If you had a schedule that you could put in the paper to
But
say,
during COVID, they wouldn't let us do anything. They didn't want me in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. but hopefully we're
Because it
not
was
gonna
bringing
get back to that.
people together, and they didn't want that,
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
yeah, so. And. But. I'll check with them, and Food City, they like it when I come down there. and just
Mhm.
set it up. Just,
Well, it's good,
especially the
it's good
kids.
for business.
Right, I would think it
Yeah.
would people,
Yeah.
if the parents didn't think about getting books otherwise, if they're already at the grocery store.
Yeah. I'll have to start doing that again when it cools off. It's hot out there.
After we get the wrap finished,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would be
And
good.
that's,
because right now it's
Yeah.
just an unmarked black van.
Yeah.
But-
You heard of that?
At least
I
it's not
talked to
black.
them and,
right, it would not be a
I'm
good
working
thing to
on
be
the
in the
picture
parking lot.
of
Just
the
give me a
background
magazine.
for the, yeah, they're gonna wrap around the zero. It's,
Right.
it's almost, I'm almost done, I'm on the last row
It
of
must
books.
struggle.
And then as soon as I'm done with, and their kids, they're 10.
Well, he's really good. You seen these vans that have like Acme glass?
Right.
Yeah,
uh-huh,
they're all like,
The guy
Yeah.
Hazard does, he does race cars and all that. So
Right,
he's fixing them on the van, so.
that'll be nice.
yeah, it's gonna have like a picture of books that are
Mhm.
blurred, so you can't see what they are because of copyright issues.
Mm,
But, the logo, which is on the oath sheets in the top
Mhm,
left,
mhm.
that's gonna be on. Yeah. That's gonna be
Oh,
on
okay,
the
nice,
the
yeah, uh-huh.
doors,
On the
Mhm.
black glass.
yeah. So I'm should be able to easily finish that graphic and get it to him, and then I'll call him and tell him I've emailed it to him.
Mhm.
Ian, you wanna go? Or Roy, are you done? Ian, tell him your good news.
Yeah, well, good news. I'm officially the head librarian. I got engaged this week or last week. Bought a new car.
He's a whole new person.
Right, yeah.
It's been a really good month. Here at the library, we're still having problems with the printer on and off. And we found out, a lot of it's, our, internet connection, the router and stuff. Tyrell Miller, who used to be the IT person here, came in and looked at it for us, and he gave us a list of stuff that we should get to replace some of the hardware to make everything work a little bit better. So, I put that in the cart on Amazon, and he said he would come back and put that stuff in for us. So that would be good. That'll get some stuff. We had a little bit of a delay on moving some of the books downstairs. We got some kind of bug, and we don't know what it is. Came in and either boxes of books or a box of seats or something, and they kind of took over the back office for a little bit.
Oh, gosh. What kind of bug?
They're
It's a
Yeah.
it's a flying.
grain weevils.
Yeah, it's
Oh, so it's not the ladybug
No.
infestation.
No, it's not anything scary like that, but we've been kind of afraid to move the boxes downstairs right now because we're afraid that we'll spread them
Transport them,
downstairs. Who knows how long they'll go down there before we can get it fixed. The exterminators have been in, they sent it off to UK so
Okay,
that
so
they
you-
can find out what it is and how to get
Friday, I
rid of it.
went and got bug bombs and
Yeah.
Greg set them off for us. Greg, our janitor here, he
Mhm.
set them off for us, when he was leaving on Friday night, and, there's a whole lot of weevil carcasses in the workroom. Yeah, it worked. Somebody said they saw one, but it looked like it was struggling. We may need to get more bug bombs and set them off.
I'd wait a little bit.
Yeah. We're gonna see if we see any more of them.
Mhm.
But yeah, that has delayed us a little bit on getting more stuff done because we're afraid to move more stuff into the back office, and we're afraid to move the stuff from the back office downstairs because we don't want to spread them around. But things are going good. We've been ordering more books. We're still trying to fill a couple of gaps in the collection, things that we haven't had in a while. it's going good. People are checking them out a lot. See a lot of people come get the new ones off the shelf. So that's nice. Trying to get our movies, trying to get some new stuff. We started inventory. Hopefully soon we're going to be able to do some more inventory, get some more stuff deselected out of our system so that we can make room for more new books. Try to rotate out some of the old stuff, put some new stuff in, kind of get some of that newer audience. I mean, a lot of the books that we have are older, and people now, they don't recognize them,
Right.
they don't see them, and just immediately go to it. So we're trying to get some new stuff in so people can find that stuff. But it's going good.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Me and Scarlett are working our butts off. We work daily processing books. We've got a stack in there now that we're waiting on a box. We've run out of boxes, which is hard to believe, but we've run out of boxes to put them in. So, but we're getting that done, and like Ian said, we're working on the process on the inventory and getting new books out and new DVDs and things like that. And it's just going real well. The other thing is we've had more people in here doing FEMA faxes again. For some reason, it's picked up, and
I think they've all kind of rotated around and they happen to send new information.
yeah, we've been doing more FEMA fax, and so that's picked up a little bit, and I don't know the reason why, but we've been doing more of those. We're still doing a lot of copies, and people coming in all the time wanting to print return labels. That seems to be the thing, and so we're staying real busy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Next is Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Charlie. Oh, you want me to give a report? Just tell you what I've been working on?
After all of it.
Well, I've been working on the year-end actual numbers and working on, I actually, when I have time, go and grab a small stack of books to catalog. And sometimes if I get time, I run downstairs and sort through a box of books, because when they get cataloged, everything for Neon goes in a box regardless of what section of the library it's going to be in. So I've been going down to sort through boxes, get stuff into the right. No, it's all Neon, but I've been going down to sort, see which section of Neon it goes in, like juvenile books all in one box, and YA all in one box, and nonfiction, stuff like that. I'm about to start the annual report. I had my weekly meeting with Karen from FEMA. Karen told me she's being reassigned, so we're actually meeting on the phone tomorrow, and I've been trying to get our elevator maintenance contract from TK Elevator so I can send that to Karen to finish out that project. I did hear last week, and it's official now, we are getting repaid for the emergency, not repaid, but we're getting a grant for the 75% of the emergency measures that I took initially, which was getting Lewis Brothers and then Ecotech Systems to pump out our basement, having Lewis Brothers clean out and do the antimicrobial at Blackie, and getting Serve Pro to clean out and do antimicrobial at Fleming Neon. So all of those projects together were like 82,000, and we are getting, actually it had to have been more than 82. We are getting 62,000 and change back from that. the elevator, and I need to send Karen all of the additional things we've had to do for the elevator. Is the current project, and I can send her the invoice from today also. But now I've got the contract is supposed to be in my email. I just talked to our new representative from TK Elevator, Chad. And it's a lot, I know. So sorry. It's a lot, so I'm, and when I can, or when I need to, I help cover the front desk. I try to represent it at the yoga classes, because I think that a library representative needs to be at all the library events. And when I go to those, I take the newsletter and hand it out so we sucker them into coming to other stuff. Maybe sucker's not the best word.
There's a big turnout for the sound bath.
Yes.
Was that an unusually large?
It was slightly larger than normal. We usually have anywhere from 8 to 25 people on Thursday nights. We had 20 this past Thursday. I'm hoping some of those become repeat yoga people. Trying to think of what else I've done. I've talked to Charlie and Craig a bunch about the building projects, and just, working my way through one project at a time.
Any questions? On any of them?
No, I'm excited to hear maybe what's going on with their buildings. Charlie?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
You got it.
Sorry, now Charlie.
Appreciate everybody inviting me, I guess, and try to get up to speed on things. We have, I guess, I'll back up since I was here last, which I guess was the June meeting. I wasn't here last month, I don't think. And so Alita and Craig and I met on site at both Blackie and Fleming Neon to kind of get a little bit of a direction. There was some uncertainty about what we had to do to meet FEMA requirements there. And so I feel better after that.
I do too.
Walking through and getting some direction there. So basically, from my point of view, I guess that Fleming Neon were really pretty close. I'd say the drawings are 95% complete. We're finishing up window details. Basically, what we have to do at that location is to replace all the windows, which are big and multiple windows. I think we have 11 outside windows and in the 2 doors, and replace those with what they call flood-proof windows or hurricane windows, which are they get sealed in and they're impact resistant, so that if there's any debris that comes in the floodwaters, that it should be able to withstand most kind of impacts there. So that one is a little more straightforward. We know kind of where we're headed there, and I think we're again from our end, I would say hopefully by next month that we should have drawings ready to go out the door. We'll still, it's a little fuzzy. We're working with FEMA as far as how we need to proceed with them in mind, but I think we can go ahead and start to get pricing and some idea what contractors have to say as far as scheduling and timing, and then mesh that in with the FEMA process to see where the funding is for that. Blackie is a little further behind. It's the smaller of the 2 projects, but it needs a little bit more work, and we're looking at various things. We explored we would have to waterproof the foundation. We have to remove the ramp from the entirety around the perimeter all there. And then we can access where we need to seal the joint from the foundation to the wall. And then we can replace the ramp. We talked about potentially putting a lift in, and that sort of didn't go over real big for various.
It's my fault. I am very worried that if we have a lift, somebody's gonna get stuck in the building when there's no power.
And we have power outages.
Frequently, yeah. And I mean, ramps make sense. I mean, they're just more accessible for people in general. You don't have to mess
Can't
with.
you have like a battery to offset power outages?
You can, it's all doable. It would just add into the cost, I guess, if you start to compare what it would take to replace the ramp versus putting in a lift. And you know, a ramp is maintenance free. I guess that's the way to look at it. And just simpler for people, you know, the way they've been doing it all along, and they can access it in there. So at the end of the day, we didn't really see an advantage to going with a lift there. Cost wise, it just wasn't. At one point, we were thinking, well, to just do a sidewalk and then have the lift might be cheaper than to do the ramp to the back, but in reality, it isn't.
What about a ramp for the inside?
We talked about that also. There is no space
Yeah.
where we could do it
You would,
without losing
Computer space?
or book space.
you need essentially the same length that you have outside almost for inside. It's
Can I say
Yeah.
please.
No, Grace, you're not allowed to talk.
that? No, I just feel like, and you know, I've been at I've been in that, well, not in that town, but there in that vicinity for 74 years, and I've worked at that library for 30-some. We don't need a lift. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
That's just my personal opinion. But we do not need a lift.
Okay.
Until you get
I think
handicapped and can't get in there.
Yeah, no, if there's a ramp, but you don't have any idea how many times our power flickers off.
Or
Yeah.
it's weekly almost.
Or
But at this time, I'd like to make a motion. I thought about this a lot, and I'd like to make a motion that the board approve all purchase of new equipment that wasn't in there before the flood, to be included in the libraries before ordering or approved, also approved by the head librarian.
So everything needs to be approved by Grace, is that what you're saying?
Well, we approve it first, and then it's up to her
Verify.
to get the final approval, because it's her library, she knows more about it.
well, so, you know, I mean, I don't know about that, but I just know.
Well, I mean, that's it.
I mean, I'm just speaking of the ramp, you know,
Yeah.
I just know,
Yeah.
and anything that we have kids on a regular ramp
And that,
trying to, you know.
Playing.
that
You
can
don't
also,
need to
that
be
can
messing
also
with
be applied to Flaming Neon. If there's new equipment that we didn't have before the flood, that the board has to approve it, and then the librarian, head librarian approve it. I would like to make that a motion. I mean,
I'll
discussion.
second. Well, do we
Discussion.
have to have a discussion first? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we approve it, I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's just not done.
Expedite the
Just to have it on record.
Right.
That's
So
fine.
you're saying that our approval would be contingent on the head librarian's approval?
Exactly.
So, but then it wouldn't require coming back to a
No,
board
right.
meeting, is what you're saying. So if
Okay,
something happens
so-
between now and the next board meeting, they could go ahead, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I'm thinking, what are we getting into?
I ordered you a new bench, Grace.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
And,
I may just go out and sit on it.
See, that's not equipment that wasn't there before.
no, it's an additional bench. It's another one of the rustic rooster green benches.
Oh, okay.
We did lose a bit. It wasn't a rustic rooster bench, but we did lose our porch bench.
It was
And
wood,
flooded.
it floated away.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
You got that down, Ian?
Yeah, or not.
It's in the recording.
Mhm.
Okay.
I need a second.
I second that.
Okay. Madeline second. Yeah, I just think it, now we got it writing that, the librarian has to come through and.
There
say-
shouldn't be any delay, but it has to be
Right.
up to the librarian, yeah.
Yeah.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That's- Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, you got more for us?
Yeah, just to continue, finish out there. So we'll look at replacing the ramp. And then at this point, it's a wood-sided structure, and so it's not watertight, and it's very difficult to make it watertight. So at the moment, we're looking at replacing about 4 feet of siding. We have to pull it off, put waterproofing membrane on it, and then either reinstalling that siding or get new siding on there. There's just no other way that we've been able to come up with to safely or adequately waterproof a wood-sided building.
So you're gonna do 4 foot, measured on the inside of the building?
Yeah, well, from the finished floor height, we have to actually go almost 5 feet. To get, we have to go 1 foot above the new established flood height. And that's 4 feet above the finished floor currently. So we're working on getting those details finished up for the drawings. So it's slightly behind Fleming Neon, but I think we're close, ready to go out the door here in the fall here to get prices and scheduling from people, and I'll continue to work with Craig and Alita to get through with FEMA what we need to show them and get approval.
Thank goodness Craig is gonna be around for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been very helpful.
We
Yes.
hope.
He's the FEMA, he's the FEMA rep.
He's actually Kentucky Emergency Management, but he
Oh,
used
okay.
to work for FEMA.
Oh, okay, good. So he has that insight.
Yes.
He knows what we need to be doing and,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's ready.
Good, very good.
And we've actually talked about, Charlie inviting, contractors, specific contractors to bid in addition to it being placed in the newspaper.
Right.
Oh, good.
Specifically Lewis Brothers
Yeah.
for
and-
sure, but we have a few others that we can recommend as
Yeah.
well.
Cause we work with Lewis Brothers a lot and
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So do you foresee, for example, Fleming Neon, that's my own turf.
Right.
Do you foresee construction starting like in the winter? Do it start to the spring or, I mean,
It's hard to say at this point. It potentially could start. I would say that would be the optimistic side would be probably late fall.
I have a lot of people in the community, they think it's going
Ready.
to be back.
I see
And so we
Yeah,
really
you-
need
something to happen.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I understand that completely.
they don't think it's coming back. It's very.
And that's
you know,
a
very
factor
bad.
for people
Sure,
making
right.
decisions about what they want to do with their homes and things, I'm sure. So, yeah, I get that. So, yes, this, and as I said, that one is ready to go much quicker, I think, than Blackie.
And
Right.
it's not like we're gonna wait and
I'm sorry.
bid them out
But it's
together. As soon as
Yeah.
the plans are ready and approved, going in the paper.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Certainly.
And you see that happening within the next month? or-
I'm hopeful by, I would say, yeah, by this time next month, we should be ready to,
Approved plans.
yes.
Actually, we were kind of on a roll there until FEMA
Yes.
changed their standards for flood
Correct.
zone.
Yeah.
And so that
Right,
knocked us
right.
back.
Right.
So maybe there won't be anything else come through, but that's.
Well,
pretty
hopefully,
ordinary.
you know, and that's partly where Craig has been very helpful, giving us insight on how they're approving those projects and what we can expect. So at this stage, I'm not seeing any more surprises.
They do have a new designer on staff at Summit. She was not able to come, but I think we're mostly done with the interiors.
I think everything's set, but
Unless there was something that she wanted to do or thought that we would do better.
at this stage, I've been trying to tame everybody down from changing things.
Let's not be crazy.
You're right.
Like calm.
I think we're happy with what we had at this stage, so.
Grace, did I tell you that they have a source for those prints, the Kentucky print that was in the,
Oh, that was in the
yeah.
mock-up thing.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
we can,
We're really interested.
good, yeah, we
What is
found
that?
a place to
It's
get it.
it's a print of the shape of Kentucky in different wood tones.
Oh, I remember
I think,
that.
is
Yeah.
that right?
It was on the colored printout. we had
Yeah.
I
at
don't
the-
have that.
At the original.
Yeah, I didn't bring that with me,
Yeah,
but,
I've got a copy in my office.
yep,
But we also like the armless chairs that were in the Fleming neon plans,
okay,
the bright colored ones. 'cause
Okay.
There were purple and gold
right,
chairs and we were definitely interested in getting some of those. Cause they also looked really comfortable.
good. Yeah, no, we'll bring those for you to look at and
Awesome.
approve.
Thank you.
Great.
Anybody have questions for Charlie?
Get it done faster. I know.
Thank you. We appreciate.
Thank you.
Is Summit located in the old La Citadel? No.
No,
No.
they're
Where? are you?
Pikeville in
Oh, okay.
London.
Well, we have
I
an
was trying
office in
to-
Pikeville and one in Lexington.
Okay.
I'm in the Lexington office.
I
We're
couldn't
just
remember.
off of Richmond Road and Man of War,
Okay.
right on that edge of town.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next item is staff
Yes.
raising.
You guys
Can you start?
should, if you don't have the sheet still, I did not,
You didn't include it in this
I
packet.
did not include it in
Okay,
the packet, but
I
I've
got
got,
it. Yeah.
because I didn't, I don't have them.
I have it, but it's probably in your.
You guys wanna look at those for a few minutes and allow me to run to the bathroom? Okay, I promise I will be right back. Okay.
Do you remember what last year's raise was?
Ian would remember 5%.
10%, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, while she's gone, last year, the staff got 9% raise, yet, inflation, 8 points.
Right.
Good,
good
You
point,
talked-
yeah.
You talked about 9%, we got 5,
Yeah.
it was said that we would come back to it later and we.
Yeah, and I think 10% this year is a minimum.
I agree. I think that's good.
Because, we showed them last year, so this year, even though we're doing 10%, they're still gonna be short, but not as much. And,
Totally set over today.
and I know y'all are not paid up, I think the professional people should be paid. When McDonald's and them started $12 an hour, I think you at least deserve more.
Mhm.
And I was highly disappointed last year that I proposed 10% to get it, but I'd like to at least think about, I even think more. You know, we've got money in the bank, we've got CDs.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Oh, I agree with you with the 10%, you know, I mean,
And minimum.
yeah, I'm like you, I just, this cost of living, is rough on everybody. In Letcher County, everyone's recouping from their losses with the flood.
And their
And-
salary, they don't, maybe,
Yeah, I'm good.
you're good.
Yeah.
Well, glad.
I'm good with it.
Good, you're good. Glad you're good.
And I amen that, and I agree that maybe it could be higher, but I think at least.
We had those
that-
on that sheet that had the option that we looked at, didn't we?
Was it more, that's what this
It
is,
was-
5, 7, and 10, but you're saying, was there a,
Think
More
this
than
is
10?
it. No,
I don't
maybe
think it
not.
I'd like to have it 12. That's,
well? Looks like you have money in the budget for that.
Alita said that they took in more money this year than they've ever have, so.
Well, and I believe in investing in the, it's great to have other resources, but investing
Well, I
in the
believe in having
human
a happy
resources.
staff.
Yeah,
I do too.
12%?
yeah,
I'll go with
I'll
it.
go with 12%.
Yeah.
Do I hear a 15? I see. Coming right, no, I just saw Ian's like, he just got engaged and he just bought a new car, so.
That might pay.
It's actually not correct on this list.
Well, while you've been gone, we've discussed money and more money.
Oh.
And, anyone wanna make that motion?
I make a motion for 12% raise
Well,
across the board.
Well,
Can you read what?
yeah, yeah, and I second the motion. We need that discussion, or, I mean, I think you said that we brought in more money than ever before, and because of the cost of living, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
No, she's okay
And-
with it.
Right, okay. So, and that will be for everybody starting when?
July 1.
July 1, so it'll be everyone across the board, will get that, right?
Fiscal year starts in July.
Right, yeah, I knew that, yeah, from the college. I'm not familiar with the June 30th to July 1
July.
start date. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you all. I really think.
yes, you don't want it. Roy's opposed to it.
I've been head librarian for 5 years. And I'm making less than someone who just got head librarian.
Okay.
That's-
Yeah, you're about to be adjusted.
How
My
does
niece said
that-
the same thing. She was applying for jobs because she said loyalty did not pay anymore. She said because they were hiring people into her position that she had been like in for 7 years. And they were hiring people in at the same level.
Right.
And I think that needs to.
So
play
how does
into
that
it
get
too.
adjusted?
I tell them what they will make.
Okay, but I mean, is there a process for that? How do you do that?
Well, I'm gonna look at how long they've been with us.
Yeah.
And there's a few head librarians that I need to adjust, not just Roy.
Mhm.
How long they've been with us, their education level, and how long they've been in this particular position.
So there's a formula
Is
that you
there
go
a
by.
formula that we?
Yeah,
go
it seems
by?
like there should be a formula,
There
but
should be a formula, but there is not.
Could we?
Could we
Yeah,
develop
we
one?
really,
Yeah.
really need to see that with
Yeah.
all these factors,
That way,
Absolutely.
they know where they stand.
Right,
where they
for,
stand.
and also for us going forward.
Okay.
you
Right,
know,
right.
So we
so we don't
can
have
make sure
someone, yeah,
adjustments are,
Uh,
equitable.
so,
actually, Wayne writes the checks, so that could he figure out a formula for oil? You'd have to figure one out.
I'll figure one out.
Okay.
Well, I know I worked for Family Resource and it was like you were paid by the amount of students also that was in the school. Your salary depended on
how many people you
how
were
many
serving?
people we were representing. Yeah, like the ones who were at the high school and the elementary, they got a lot more money than the rest of us
Yeah.
because we had
Less
a
population.
lot,
Fewer
less
students to deal
you
with,
know.
yeah.
So that's another factor that you've
Mhm.
got to think about is how much they're serving. You
He
know,
gets sucked into having to do a
Everything.
lot of other things
Yeah, and
That
that
aren't
could be
necessarily
part of
his
school
job
visits.
description, yeah.
and, helping with.
well, you know what he has. So
Yes.
that's-
Mhm.
if you
That
can
Yeah,
make that,
Into a
Formula.
formula, right, I agree, that you,
I will,
a consideration, so weighting,
I will,
putting a weight on number of years, experience,
yeah.
contact with the public or whatever.
and maybe you can look at other library systems, see what.
Oh, yeah,
what
See
they're,
what
I
comparable-
actually
yeah.
have a, like a
Well,
schedule.
Let me ask the head librarian. Ian, what do you think?
I'm not sure of a number, but if you look at people like Grace and Peggy have been
Yeah,
They've been
Here
here for a
forever.
really long time. I mean,
And this
Don't
rate, this
worry.
rate will
I think a
almost
lot, I
bring
think
you
a lot of the
$3
issue is that
for
when
37
a
years.
new person gets a job or something like that,
Always is it like.
we recognize that that person needs to be paid more because of the time, so we give a little bit slightly a higher raise, but then we don't compensate the people who
Right.
were already here for that difference.
Mhm.
And I think that that's gonna be the big thing, is looking back and saying, okay, well, these people have been here for this long, they've, you know, for example, Scarlett, for example, has a master's degree,
Right.
and,
She's been here
she's
for
been here 5 years, 4
5 years.
And, you know, and she's got a master's degree, and she's making less than what Walmart.
Right.
We can't make people rich. We don't have that kind of money.
Well,
So this is.
well, I know we
She
can't.
was
But
also,
comparable
she's not
to-
making less than,
Walmart pays $15 an hour starting, and they're talking about going up to $17.50.
Oh, well.
So what's $15 an hour?
That would be.
So what does that
Make what I-
$15
We
an
may
hour
have to
for
go
two?
wrong.
$30,000.
30,000,
I may
okay,
resign
yeah.
the job at Walmart.
And she's making 34.
Oh,
but
Gina, what do you
still, yeah.
think?
I really think that, it's hard to do, it's hard to choose, and
You wanna be fair, yet you wanna be,
I think yeah, I wanna be fair, but I think there's a limit to what you can do.
Yeah.
And,
still a lot, bro.
Yeah,
yeah,
Right.
and we understand.
when
Yeah.
the previous, I'm gonna tell stories, it's nothing bad. When the previous head librarian from Neon resigned and Legina took the position, they started, like, shifted her salary or pay amount to what the previous head librarian was making. And I don't know, did you have more years in the system?
I had a
than
lot
she-
more years
Yeah.
than Janae,
Mhm,
yeah.
Right.
So,
So that's a factor right there. Yeah, that's one case of needing to adjust it, right?
yes.
Mhm. So level of education, number of years in the job, and number of people served, those are like 3 factors.
I
that
don't
you
know
look
how
at.
you can judge the number of people.
Right.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
We get people here from Neon, Blackie, Jenkins.
Right,
Jenkins
sure,
gets
and
people
book,
from here,
you know,
Blackie.
doing the book
Well, and
mobility.
right now.
Yeah, well.
No, we always
all-
do.
Always.
Oh,
Because all the
I've got
libraries,
people that
all
will
the
come from
libraries have
different
different.
classes.
And also the painting
And we
class.
share material.
Right.
And we share
Yeah.
but Roy takes books to Blackie
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
well, and to Jenkins and Neon.
Right, so that,
Realistically, we all serve the entire county. I mean.
right, so what you were saying,
It's not
it
that
might be
big
hard
to
to break
say
that
how
down,
many.
yeah.
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 Yeah, we can't really say how many people we serve, because, for example, like, Grace, how many people do you have go to Blackie that are Whitesburg people that just travel
Come to the
down there
book.
to go get a book?
And, well, and a lot of it's got to do with your collection.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
face it, every library, and when I took my administrative course, it said, first thing is figure out your patrons and what their needs are.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the patrons that come in at Blackie, they're hunting sometimes different from what may be coming in at Neon, or what at Neon may be different from what's coming in here. But and you know, I don't invest a lot of our dollars in things that do not get checked out often, but I have the advantage, I can get it from any of the
Right.
other
Yeah.
libraries.
Well, see, like
So-
I went to Jenkins, checked out for Peggy there to the book I wanted.
Yeah.
I could have got it from you, but I didn't wait, I wanted 10, so I went there, got it.
Mhm.
You're just
Yeah.
impatient.
He said, "Oh, well, get the back down."
But you know, we have that advantage, you know, like,
Mhm.
and I'll be perfectly honest, I don't invest a huge amount of our dollars in reference material, because
Mhm.
it never gets pulled off the shelf. I should
Right.
not say
We're-
never.
We're
It
not
rarely
buying-
gets pulled
Not
off
gonna
the
buy
shelf.
any.
We're not buying it
Because
for
people-
here either, except if something like really strikes me, like the diabetes resource book. Or, the almanac, we get those.
if something is major current events or something that a lot of people are looking for currently, we'll get it. If it's something that, you know, we have to have, you know.
That's just like that little yellow book out there, Kentucky name, what was that Grace I gave you that I got at Cumberland College, the names are different.
Kentucky
Blackie and-
place names?
Oh,
Yeah.
place names?
Yeah.
I don't know if I still have it.
And,
Because it may
and,
be on the river somewhere.
I was there when Ed Banks came in and checked it out. He got kind of, surprised, I guess would be the word, because this black lady asked him where he's from. He said, Blackie.
Oh,
And so he had to go through and tell her how Blackie got his name because
Right.
she was offended because she thought
thought it was
a joke.
slur, yeah. Well, when I was in graduate school at Columbia and was, my dissertation proposal had to do with the Speak Your Peace column in the Mountain Eagle and how people would call in and say things that they wouldn't say, you know, for fear of losing their jobs or whatever. And my professor looked at the time, this was in the 80s, there was this big dispute about coal trucks going up and down Carbon Blow Holler and Defeated Creek. And my professor in my proposal circled Carbon Glow Holler and Defeated Creek and said, use actual place names. Don't fictionalize the place names. And I said, I didn't. And he said, Defeated Creek. You know.
Yeah.
And he still has a subscription to the Mountain Eagle. He's now at UC Berkeley. he said, let me see that. He brought it in. He always just reads the Speak Your Peace column, I think. But anyway.
Okay.
We got the-
We got the staff raises, and that passed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Next is tax rates.
Tax rates. I need to write that down or I'm gonna, well, I'll not forget, but
No, you won't.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little shocked.
So you're gonna come back to us with a formula,
Yes.
maybe at the next meeting that we could. So
Okay.
adjust, yeah.
These are the tax rates and I'm giving you like a whole packet of papers because as soon as I get the tax rates, I request, and there's 4 of them there, so. Can
Oh, you can
take one and
pass them, yeah.
Oh,
Right, right, okay.
Don't have quite enough. There's 2 there, 2 here, you guys can share.
Grace, I'll stop over here and let you copy this.
Okay, so, what I get in the mail or through email initially is the first page, which is front and back, and then the page following it, which is also front and back.
Okay.
Yes. So this is what they initially send us as tax rates. And they are suggesting, they suggest what's called a compensating rate, which is the tax rate that will bring in the same amount of funds as last year. But for the last few years, and I'm gonna suggest it again, we don't take the compensating rate. Because it will raise taxes for the people.
Okay.
Our tax rate,
Mhm.
oh, there's,
Right now especially, even
Yeah.
though we've got fewer people paying taxes.
All property taxes.
I know they
yeah,
did.
there's
Didn't
there's-
they? Yeah.
more to it.
Mhm.
They're suggesting 12.5 as the real property, which is real estate.
Right.
Last year we had 12.3, so I went ahead and asked them to send me alternate rates. What we had last year was 12.3 and 17 point something, got it, but the 17 for personal property is actually lower this year. The compensating rate is 15.23. And this alternate rate number 1 is the lowest tax rates. It's last year's tax rate for for real estate. And the compensating rate for personal property and motor vehicle rate just stays the same all the time for us, which is 5.32.
Well, the only one, the personal property and real estate be the ones that,
that we decide,
Yeah.
yes. And then. Well. We forgot to do offices.
So you,
Mhm.
you said we don't usually do the comp rate,
Right, we usually stay the same
just stay the same. So,
for the last few years.
okay, it's been 12.1,
12.3,
12.3. Okay, okay.
Real property,
yes.
personal property was what?
Personal property was 17.99, I believe.
But it's down to 15.23.
Yes.
Okay.
That's this one.
Right,
that's
right.
marked-
The alternative rate #1.
Yes. And it tells how much we are expected to bring in with that rate. With 12.3, they expect us to gross $559,745. With the 15.23 for personal property, they're expecting that to gross $202,747 for a subtotal of $762,492. And then the motor vehicle, which doesn't change, is expected to bring in $106,292 for a total of $868,784.
any questions?
So you're wanting us to decide which one of these?
Yes.
If you go back to the back, the front of the second page, no, back of the first page. It tells you what they expected us to, and these come to us from, so the property evaluation office sends Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives, property values for the county. And Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives has a
Formula schedule,
Yes.
schedule or something.
Formula.
Yeah,
I'm
formula.
losing
Okay,
words.
that's okay. I do that too.
a formula to figure out what we would need to set tax rates at to bring in the same amount of money that we had the previous year.
Well, what happens with all these properties that FEMA's buying up and they can no
Right.
longer tax?
And did that they take that into
I think
consideration?
they did.
Okay,
They did take that
I
into
think, I
consideration?
think the property valuation office had to take that into
I heard
consideration.
that they were gonna do that.
Because
and that's-
there's a lot,
Right, that's
just in my
gone.
neighborhood.
Right.
Yes, I think there's like 200 properties in the county that is
Well,
gonna
with
take
this
the buyout.
second- With the second
Second buyout.
buyout. it's
Oh, there's
smaller.
another?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there's
true.
one that's just happening now, right?
Yeah.
That's just.
Yeah.
It's in the process.
They're still taking
Right.
applications.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
for.
So
So
maybe they're just going on the first one, since they've already. said
Yeah,
this.
it's the first round of.
it's my understanding that there was 140 people applied for the FEMA buyout,
Mhm.
but some of them dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have better numbers, Sam?
A total, I think it's 204 or 209, but there's 140 some FEMA and 70 some from
From the new,
natural resources conservation.
Okay,
Okay, so
and is that,
it's
there-
200 and some
are there
properties.
still, is it still in process or is that pretty much?
It's still in the process.
Okay,
There's
so
no
it could
more
be more.
More
Okay.
applications.
Oh,
I think July
but they
the
have-
31st,
okay.
so it's the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure property valuation had to take that into consideration for the county's revenue. Which I think they're also taking into account, new businesses that are moving into the county. New cars people have had to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a factor, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the money people have had to spend to repair their houses or, yeah. I don't wanna raise.
But this
anything.
would be raising
Yeah,
that,
that
their
would be
recommendation
raising,
would be
I don't wanna
raising,
raise
yeah.
anything.
I don't think we need to.
Maybe
raise
not
it.
now.
Yeah,
We'll see how we're affected this year.
we'll see,
Yeah.
yeah, see how it
And
goes.
then take it
Well,
from
we're
there.
in
Yeah.
decent financial shape right now.
Right.
We are,
You know, if we were borderline,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would recommend our rate, but I'm like, Lita, I think.
I don't know.
Let's keep it.
Yeah.
So,
We're gonna get hell with one way or the other.
We are, I mean, I talked to, the lady from USDA about a grant, that we hadn't known about before. We got the Steel Reese grant,
mhm.
that's paying for the computers. People have sent us
Right,
donations.
so we've, yeah,
We're not hurting, and I don't wanna hurt them.
right, yeah. You think we're gonna get hell even if we don't raise it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
gotten kickback
well,
about the library
they're gonna,
tax?
they're gonna, if you were standing on the corner having that $20 bill, somebody won't hit
Right,
you.
okay, so yeah.
But, you know, keep it like it is,
I
would
think
be the best situation.
Mhm.
I haven't said this, but with having to upgrade the windows at Fleming Neon, I think repairing that building is gonna cost closer to $1 million than 800,000. So,
But you have this other,
But
these other
we have
funds
have
coming in.
grants,
Mhm.
we have the possibility of grants.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should keep the status quo for now. I don't wanna raise it.
So I move that we go ahead and make a motion that we adopt the alternative rate number 1 that's listed here.
Any discussion?
Concerns?
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Oh, is there a second?
Oh, I need a second.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, Cheryl second.
I haven't, but I know it's $100,000 would be, if they were taxed on $100,000, it would be $15.23. Sorry, personal property, 12.3 for the real estate. So personal property is, yeah. 12 and a half. I mean, it's not a huge amount of difference, but every little bit helps.
So we need to
Okay.
vote now.
I need a second.
I think Cheryl's second.
Cheryl,
Yeah.
okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you all.
Okay, let me, skipped over it. We need to decide offices because I need the secretary to come with me for notarized signature of tax rates. I know, such fun.
I think I'm the secretary.
Yeah.
Even though I've never done one.
Oh, so you got,
Yeah, there we go.
well, we still need. to-
I nominate Libby as secretary.
You can do that.
Yes.
So. Real fast, let me go off script. In the trustee manual, and they've got the new trustee manual is coming out soon.
I've got to sit down too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so you know. Wait, my turn.
No, no, not really.
This, oh, okay.
This is
Okay.
just figuring out who wants to do what. And you can say, I'd like to remain president. Or you can say, I think somebody else should be the president.
President.
It's president.
President. Okay.
So
Yeah.
we need a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer.
And there are just 4 of us. there was
There's
five.
five.
It was Jeanette,
Um,
yeah. So I mean, that leaves an opportunity for everybody.
Melina was the treasurer.
Lena was, and the
Okay.
treasurer really isn't that difficult. They go and they pick up the financial reports, which I did today. And they pick up the bank statements from the bookkeeper's office, and I get everything except for the two financial reports to put in my records. And then occasionally they would want to be the person that looks into the interest rates on CDs and the money market account kind of stuff. The treasurer is supposed to do the minutes, but we have Ian. The secretary. I'm sorry, not treasurer,
Right.
secretary, thank you.
You all would be in poor shape if I did it. Because I get carried away in the conversation and I
Right.
forget the rest of it.
That's why we got recordings.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I have to do.
right.
I am recording.
Yeah, right.
Every now and then I'm like, I've forgotten once or twice. So I worry that I've remembered to turn on the recording. This is my ADHD brain. So president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Does anybody like really want to be one or the other of those?
I really do not want to be the treasurer, so Cheryl, how do you feel about that?
Jeanette went to the bank in Howard, where, is that what she does?
She go to Wayne Fleming's office and they do
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just pick up papers.
They,
whatever you feel comfortable.
it's whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do.
I nominate Cheryl for that, yes.
Okay.
I second it.
Yes.
Let me take notes.
And then should we vote Jeanette in as vice president in her absence?
Yeah, she used to be
On the
president.
She's been
meeting,
president,
so, yeah,
so-
I think that would, can we do that in her
You
absence?
can, I know she was concerned about, her availability,
Oh,
because of Mr. Ladd's health,
okay.
so. I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
Should we wait till she's here to
Yeah,
do
we could
this?
wait and do that. I mean,
We
I'm
can
happy, I don't
just-
know what a vice president does, but it doesn't seem like the new kid on the block should be an officer, in my view.
The vice president chairs the meetings in the absence of the president, which occasionally gets tossed at me, which I'm
Mhm.
perfectly fine with. That's pretty much it. They take over the role of president if something should happen, like somebody get elected to city
Like vice
council and
president.
have to retire.
Had a doctor's appointment,
Mm,
came in like 30 minutes late, but
okay.
normally I would have missed it.
Mhm.
But see, Linda was our president, the last president, and then
Mhm.
she got elected to
Neon
city council, and you
Oh,
can't
and you
serve
can't be
on
on
two.
the, right,
Yeah.
right,
So she had to step down.
right.
Yeah,
So
They
we
stepped
nominate-
up, yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't be an elected
Right.
official to be on our
Right.
library board.
Right.
But luckily for us, you can be an elected official and work for the library.
Right, which is what Tessa is
Yeah.
doing, yeah, okay.
Okay, so
When did she get on the city council? How did I miss that?
last week, I think.
Oh,
And
last
it's
week.
because, what was his name? That, yeah.
Oh, Derek Bartow
Derek,
resigned
he
or said,
moved,
Oh,
so he had to resign. And they were trying to figure out who lived in the city of Whitesburg that could be
Oh.
on the city council. So
so it was a special election or?
there was no election. She was
Okay,
appointed.
appointed.
But if she
She'll have
wants
to
to
run.
continue, she
Right,
will have to
right.
run. H, you wanna stay as president?
I think you should,
You're good one.
yeah.
Thank you all. And I should step down and let you all vote.
Well, I vote, I make a
Well, I
motion
don't-
that H is
Yes,
remains
I
president.
don't think, and I'll second that,
Okay.
yeah.
I-
I, so you're good.
Okay,
And then we can hold off on the vice president, see how Jeanette feels next week.
okay.
That'd be okay.
You wanna stay secretary?
Sure.
Somebody wanna make a motion?
I've done
Oh,
so
I think I
much.
already did, but I'll move that Libby,
Yeah, I already got it down.
yeah, I think we
Okay.
already voted on it, yeah, yeah. So Libby's the secretary.
Okay.
And
That's
Cheryl
what-
agreed to be the
Yeah,
treasurer.
co-vice
Right, so-
president.
That's a good question. I think maybe we could. But I don't know how I
know
would put it in.
co-chairs, I don't know what co-president, I guess. you
Oh,
could do.
that's pretty,
I don't know
Yeah.
how I would put that in the DLG. Cause there's no,
You have to
like,
have one name.
yeah,
yeah.
but,
Or she can step in and Jeanette.
Yeah, yeah,
Because backup-
I could do that,
backup
yeah.
vice
Yes,
president.
I can do that.
We're really
Okay.
I can do that.
All right.
Problem solved.
All right.
All right. So somebody asked about mission statements and I have. little
That was
attachment.
me. I couldn't find one in the trustee board,
What, and I'm gonna hand this out. What we have in the, it's not in the trustee manual, it's in the policy manual. Hang on to that first page for a few seconds. You want the second and third pages. Second page is what's in the policy manual as the closest thing that I could find to a mission. And it's a little, convoluted.
It's not a mission.
No, it's not, it's,
The objective.
Yeah.
That's good.
and I need to keep a copy. Sorry,
No,
that's
that's
fine.
fine.
Share. So
so you don't
I-
have a dedicated mission statement.
we don't, but I've included what I use as a mission statement when I'm asked for one. It's the third page.
Okay.
And instead of all of this,
Mhm.
the library, the Letcher County Public Library District provides on equal terms free service to all individuals, etc. Like 3/4 of a page.
Oh, I
It
like
is
this.
the mission of the Letcher County Public Library District to provide to all of Letcher County materials that aid the pursuit of education and lifelong learning. We seek to provide materials, programming, and equipment to spark interest in learners of all ages.
Okay, I think that's very straightforward. And where did this previous one come,
Is in the
Right.
policy manual.
oh, it was in the policy.
Yes, which I think we're going through and I need to set up binders for you guys so we can go through the whole policy manual. One policy at a time and get rid of the things that we don't need. And the things that are contradictory. Because
Yeah.
when I started, I found policies that both allowed for-profit businesses to do business in the library and did not
Prohibited,
allow.
yeah.
Yes, so we got rid of the one that allowed and now there's no for-profit business in the library.
Mhm. Was there ever?
People used to have sales parties.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't think about that,
Um,
yeah.
we
Okay,
had-
thanks.
A
Weight
piano
Watchers
teacher,
used to do it, you know.
Right, who had
Yeah.
lessons here.
yes,
Right, I
and then would
remember, yeah,
charge for them
right.
here.
Got it.
So I,
Mhm, sure.
since it is representative of the library, if you guys agree with this mission statement, you can elect to.
I think it's concise. to the
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
So we can adopt it.
Yes.
Right, so we're gonna,
Yes.
I think I need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the mission statement given by Ally.
Okay, so we'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you, that was easy. The other paper, this one here is Hazard Fire and Safety Company. This is the estimate to put the fire system in for the elevator. He actually does, and I was talking to the gentleman, Barrett, I think is his first name. His dad started Hazard Fire and Safety Equipment Company. I think he said like 35 years ago, but they're out of Hazard. Barrett was telling me that they have a flat $500 monitoring fee, and that's per year. And he can take over for, Vulcan monitoring the rest of the fire system, like it's a separate system, that they would both be tied into the panel. Right now, I think we pay $350 to Vulcan annually. I like the idea, and we would have to pay an additional fee for the elevator fire system anyway. I like the idea of hiring somebody that's closer to here, to monitor the system, because they can call me on my cell. Not that Vulcan wouldn't, but this guy knows my name now, and I've met him in person, and he does all the same stuff that Vulcan does, but just over in Hazard.
And they're in local.
They are local.
And this would include, so the $500, would that include the whole library plus the elevator?
Mhm.
And previously Vulcan didn't include the elevator.
The elevator was grandfathered in. It did not have
Oh, it
a
didn't
fire
have a-
system.
okay.
It's, way back when,
Mhm.
1971, when this building was built, fire systems were not required for elevators. So we have to have a fire system put in, and this is a little bit above my discretionary amount.
Mhm.
Seems expensive
Yeah.
It does,
for a fire
but
alarm.
if we want a working elevator, we have to do
Have
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, $11,000.
He said it would have cost about half that if we'd only had 2 floors, but where we have 2 public floors and the private basement, that made it a much larger system.
Yeah, he said they had to put in a recall system with 3 floors. Yeah, the elevator repair people, when they were down there talking, they talked to me and they said that this building has no smoke detectors, no heat sensors, no anything in the whole building. So they said that had to.
So they would be installing those or not?
I don't know.
Well, the elevator would have, like, in the, call it the foyer. The foyer of the elevator, which is right outside where you call the elevator,
Mhm.
on all the floors, would have heat and smoke sensors. So if there were anything happening out there, it would get to those sensors, but I'm gonna ask him about an estimate for sensors for the rest of the building.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
seems
sure.
pretty
Well,
important.
since I
Yeah.
think he said he could just tie them into the same system.
Right, but
This building's burned down twice before.
Before we
It's got
got
a
to,
sprinkler
Before
system.
we do have
So-
sprinklers, so it has to.
yeah, there
Something
has to
to-
trigger
there has to be
those.
something that
Yeah.
makes those come on.
I think it's sprinkler itself when it heats, it's got a.
Oh, is that what
Like a-
happens when
yeah.
it heats up in? Oh, okay.
If you've ever seen a TV show where they take a lighter to the sprinkler.
No, I have
I
not,
haven't
but
either.
anyway, something I'm missing.
Yeah, yeah, wasn't that in Die Hard?
Put a bunch of them.
Well, see, I don't
Okay.
wa-
I
don't
know,
watch
I
that.
mean, not that. Yeah.
Why is the big difference in price and extended price tag?
The what?
What, what's the
Oh, we do not pay sales tax. I've already sent him the sales tax form. But what are you looking at?
Okay, at their labor.
Labor.
Is
Is
$115.
per hour,
150.
48
It's
hours.
48 hours to install the system.
$115 per hour, for 48 hours, $5,520.
Have you paid, did they come in and look at the current system? So has that been paid yet? Or is it 48 hours part of?
It's all, none of this has been paid yet.
Okay.
It's their
So, but
estimate.
the 48 hours includes the consultation or the estimate, is that right?
No,
Oh,
So do we have to, will we be billed for their coming in and assessing it?
No.
Okay. But if they include sensor or something in the whole rest of the library, that will be an
it would
addition
be
to
an
this.
additional, it would be a separate charge actually, because it's a
Okay.
different project.
yeah.
And
Okay.
it would not happen while we're doing the elevator stuff.
Well, I have no clue as to how this compares to anything, but
Yeah, how does it compare to Vulcan? Vulcan never returned my call. So, um,
and I know we don't have to have bids for this amount of money, but are there other companies that do that in this area? Does anyone
not
know?
really.
Okay.
They were, there's another fire system company in Lexington that actually is Johnson Controls, does the system at Jenkins,
Oh, okay.
and they're expensive and hard.
More
like,
expensive than this.
and harder to get a hold of than this guy was. And he was actually easy to get a hold of. I called and he came the next day,
I
right?
keep saying that. Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, because we were looking at getting fire extinguishers, and we were looking on Amazon, and I said that we should call the fire department instead to see, because sometimes fire departments give out fire extinguishers and stuff.
They don't.
So-
They suggested hazard, fire and safety.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they sold us a fire extinguisher. And they're also gonna install it for us. Also, like, we needed a new fire extinguisher for the mechanical room,
Right.
where the elevator control board is.
Mhm.
Really, there needs to be one outside that door too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Questions? It is expensive, but it's gonna be
Mhm.
expensive no matter where we get it from.
And it has to be done.
It has to be done.
Well, it's a 3-story building. You know,
Right, I didn't realize.
You've
that would
had all
make a lot
these
of sense.
troubles
Yeah.
about moving books and
Mhm.
all that,
And-
so.
Do we have fire alarms for the other coverage? Any alarm?
Oh, they're
Yeah,
right.
there's a fire panel at Flaminion,
Black,
and I think Blackie is grandfathered in for not having a fire system. Do you have sprinklers? No.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it would have gone off.
And of course, they had fire.
Right,
Um,
so that sounds like
If you
something
do
that
that.
on down the line that we need
Yes.
to do.
That's right.
I can,
Yeah,
let me make a note to get him
Yeah.
to go look
yeah,
at
that would be,
putting in.
I don't wanna leave out Blackie.
no, it's my home.
And
I have to pay rent there.
Grace, do you remember when I taught Appalachian
I
Studies
do,
there?
I do.
That was 1989 or 90 or something.
And I'm still there.
Yeah, and Valerie Eisen was one of my students and
Yeah.
published that cookbook.
Yeah.
And then 15 years later, her son Ashley was in my class and
really?
and she had since passed on. And he said, my mother talked, which made my day, that he remembered me from when she was in my class. So,
I told our class that too.
oh, you did? Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a note to call and get an estimate for the fire system at Blackie.
Yeah, I need a motion to approve the fire safety for. This.
Yeah. The hazard, fire and safety estimate for the elevator.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, ready?
To approve. And I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you. I'm gonna call him as soon as we're done.
Now,
We got the Seal Reef grant for $40,000 for just
Yay.
computers for
Congratulations.
Blackie and Leon. Thank you. There may have been some crying. There may be more. Tessa and I have been requested to submit a proposal for a session at KPLA about, basically, taking care of your community.
Very nice.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if I get the annual report done, because I now have the actual numbers done, I'm gonna take some vacation.
Mhm.
I think
A
I'm,
year.
yes,
A
it,
year.
it has been a year.
And it's not over.
No, no, it's not, but, you know, we'll keep going.
Yes, we will. Grit,
Mhm.
grit.
Grit.
I need a motion.
For what?
To adjourn.
Any other announcements?
Question her library, her vacation or
Right,
something.
yeah, we're gonna
I thought,
approve
what?
or disapprove.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Okay,
It was a good meeting, long one.
Mhm.
Long one.
I need a second.
Second.
Well,
And so the next meeting is September 18th.
Oh, yes, September 18th